So this situation with Pokimane just keeps getting wilder every single day. A lot of people used to see her as this positive and sweet face of streaming, but recently she seems to be digging a hole she might not climb out of. You've got Adin Ross blasting her with harsh words, XQC rolling his eyes at her woke taxes, and Kai Cenat calmly explaining a very simple point she somehow missed. And let's not forget the cookie fiasco, which might be one of the strangest product flops I've seen in a long time. It all started with the big Kendrick Lamar performance at the Super Bowl. Kendrick is loved by many. He's one of the most respected artists in modern music. But, like most halftime shows, some people loved his set and the others just weren't feeling it. Now, normal folks would say it is a matter of taste. Some will vibe with him, others won't, so no big deal. But Pokimane? She decided to jump on a soapbox and say that the only people who disliked his performance were, and I quote, white guys. Suddenly, it sounded like anyone with a different music opinion was automatically hateful. Talk about a stretch. Kai Cenat came in with the most logical take. There is a generational gap. Younger fans, especially those who keep up with hip-hop, probably enjoyed Kendrick's style and high-energy performance. Meanwhile, older viewers might have been confused or just wanted a more classic show. It's not rocket science, right? But Pokimane basically reduced all that to you must be racist if you didn't like it. That's the sort of jump in logic that had a lot of us scratching our heads. Then Adin Ross stepped up to the plate, and he did not mince words. He pretty much called her out, saying her stance was absolutely nonsense and labeling her with a B word that I'll avoid saying outright so we don't get into trouble here. The point is, he felt she was completely over the top and completely missing the concept of personal taste. Even XQC chimed in, telling her that not everything needs to be about race. Some folks just have different ears for music, and that is totally fine. It is comically funny how many people flock to defend her at first, almost as if she's beyond critique, but over time, more voices joined in, noticing a pattern where Pokimane often blames entire groups for not agreeing with her. She tries so hard to be woke, but the way she does it can feel hostile and random. One moment, she's calling out white men, then the next moment, she's calling her own fans broke for not buying some overpriced cookies. This woman is on a roll, and not in a good way. Ah yes, the cookie drama, probably my favorite fiasco in recent memory. Pokimane launched these pricey cookies at around $28 for just 4 small bags. That is $7 per bag, 7 whopping dollars. I don't know about you, but I can find an entire pack of cookies at the grocery store for a fraction of that. People complained and said, hey, that's super expensive, we might not be able to afford it. Instead of hearing them out, Pokimane basically laughed and said, if you don't like the price, you're just broke. Imagine insulting the very people who watch your streams and make you money. It's like stomping on the people who gave you a career in the first place. Some detective fans also discovered that her fancy new cookie formula looked very similar to a discontinued product someone else made a while back. So, not only did she set the price super high, but it wasn't even a brand new invention. It was basically an old formula with a fancy new label slapped on. That was a big letdown. And hearing her dismiss her own followers as broke when they questioned it, that's a brutal display of arrogance. It's no wonder people are now turning against her. What makes this whole situation even more fascinating is the idea that Pokimane might be doing all this because she's gotten too comfortable at the top. Once upon a time, she was seen as the #1 face of female streaming, adored by fans and shielded by major platforms. But as we all know, the higher you climb, the harder the fall. Some folks on the internet believe she got used to not being challenged and now thinks she can say anything without consequences. That's where I see a conspiracy. Maybe she actually wants the drama as a way to remain in the headlines. In the age of social media, bad press can be more beneficial than no press at all. Some say even negative attention is still attention. But let's be real, that kind of plan usually backfires. Sure, you can stir up controversy, but if you keep insulting everybody, you risk alienating both their current fans and potential new viewers. Adin Ross's fans, for instance, are now basically immune to Pokimane's woke lines, XQC's community clearly isn't on her side, and Kai Cenat's viewers, who saw him calmly break down the generation gap behind liking or disliking Kendrick Lamar, also rolled their eyes at Pokimane's massive overreaction. There is also this rumor going around that she acts completely different in private. Some people say she's not the same sweet, soft-spoken personality we see on her streams. Apparently, behind the scenes, she might be more controlling and strategic, taking advantage of her own brand to shut down criticisms or strike people's videos. I remember a while back, she tried to clamp down on smaller creators who posted clips of her from social media. She used to send copyright claims or something like that. This is from older dramas, but it still shows a pattern. She guards her image fiercely, so seeing her brazenly call fans broke was a real eye-opener. Many watchers are now saying that this could be the biggest turning point for Pokimane. People have begun to joke about the Pokimane downfall, especially after these repeated controversies. The consensus is that she's flipping back and forth. One day, she's sweet and says, "I really care about you guys," and then another day, she's mocking them for not dropping money on a new venture. It's very confusing for viewers who once trusted her as a genuine person. Interestingly, there is a sort of unwritten rule in the streaming world that you don't alienate your own fan base. Your fans are the ones who put you where you are, so turning on them is basically career suicide. Plus, once you go down that route, you can't put the genie back in the bottle. A large portion of your following now thinks you look down on them. That's tough to recover from, no matter how many apologies you offer. But of course, people always point out how apologizing is not really her strong suit. In the past, anytime drama came around, she would do a half-hearted apology or say she was taking a break for her mental health, but then pop back off as if nothing happened, and the cycle would repeat on and on. This is also making viewers question if she's doing things on purpose for attention, like some kind of twisted marketing plan. It might sound far-fetched, but in the modern influencer world, I've seen stranger stories. And it doesn't help that big streamers like Adin Ross and XQC are shining huge spotlights on her mistakes. For instance, XQC basically told people to chill out on the race baiting angles. He pointed out that sometimes fans just do not want political or social messages in their sports or halftime shows. He emphasized that it's not about hating on the culture. Some people just tune in for the football. Meanwhile, Adin Ross flat out said she was out of plots and needed to shut up, which caused a massive stir on Twitter. Everyone started picking sides, with some people calling him harsh, but others agreeing that it was about time someone was real with her. However, the funniest part is that Kai Cenat, who is closer in age to Pokimane, basically tried to inject reason into the conversation. He wasn't saying anything crazy, just that different age groups have different tastes. That is normal. But for some reason, Pokimane took it personally and turned it into a blame fest on white guys. This meltdown might be what a lot of people remember as the moment she crossed the line. All of this leads us to a one big question. Can Pokimane truly bounce back from something this messy? She had controversies before, but typically she got out unscathed thanks to a supportive, or should I say, fan base full of simps. Now that she's basically mocking those same fans and painting an entire demographic as hateful, I'm starting to wonder if she's gone too far. Then you add in that cookie scandal, charging an arm and a leg for a product that isn't even unique, and it looks and tastes even worse. At the end of the day, we'll see if she weathers this storm or if more folks peel away from her audience. Some believe she can never truly be cancelled because she's just too embedded in the streaming world. Others say she has finally undone her squeaky clean image and her so-called downfall is well on its way. If anything else happens, you can bet I'll be here to break it all down for you. This whole story just keeps getting wilder by the minute. And that is the latest on the Pikachu girl, or should I call her Pokemon or Pokimane, calling out the entire planet, insulting her own viewers and pushing cookies nobody seems to want. Will she apologize and move on, or is she going to double down and keep taking shots at people who disagree with her? Only time will tell. For now, that's all I've got. Let me know what you think about all this, or if you believe in the conspiracy theory that she actually fears in controversy to stay in the spotlight. It is a wild ride, so buckle up. Things might get even crazier soon. Peace!